Loops. Loops are a great way to repeat the same task again and again. So, the maximum utilization of any computer is to do the repetitive tasks. Humans are not great in doing the same thing again and again. We know that. And computers are widely used for automating the process of repetitive tasks. That's how we use automated testing to test the web application again and again using the code rather than a person sitting the same functionality again and again. So loops help with repeating the execution of the particular set of code for n number of times. You can specify how many times, and the repeated execution allows you to do the code. Primarily, there are two types of loops. One is for loop and another one is while loop. Let us take a look at for loop in Eclipse. For the sake of clarity, I will create a new class. I will name it as logic loops. So go into the package, click on that, and class, I will name it as logic loops. The first thing you can do is creating a main method. That's how you can run the program and test it. And in here, I will write a for loop to start with. This is how the syntax goes. A for loop will have for and int I equals to 0, semicolon, I less than some integer value. For now, I will keep it as 10, semicolon, I plus plus, open curly brace, close curly brace, and within here you can put your code. For now, I will put a sysout statement which will simply print out the I value. So I will add a comment, a text string, the value of I is, and concatenate the I value here. Save it, run it first, and explain to you. We can see the values are printed out here. So it executed starting with the 0 and went up to 9. So what we are doing here is a couple of things. In this particular statement here in the for loop, we are initializing a value, declaring a variable and initializing it to a value, and we are providing a condition here itself. Do this loop until I is less than 10, and then we are incrementing it. We have to increment it here so that every time it executes the first time, the I value gets incremented, so that we will keep track of how many times we looped. And here, once we have this loop established, this particular statement will execute 10 times, because it's starting with 0 and going up to 9, because 10 is not less than 10. In that case, if you want to execute for 10 times, with including 0, it will be 11 times. You can do I less than or equal to 10. If you run in this case, it will run up to 10. So learning about conditional statements and loops is the first step, getting familiar with the syntax, and second thing is implementing, using it for certain kind of logic. So let us make this loop more interesting. We will combine age identification so that the conditional statements will be part of this for loop. We will use our previous code so that we can check whether a person is an adult or a teenager. Let us do that. So I will copy the if condition code we have, which checks for teenager and an adult, from logic.java class. And here I will take all of these statements. I'm not copying the age. I will tell you why. That's where we are going to use for loop. And I will paste the code here. And let us say replace I value as person age. It doesn't matter, you can declare it as an I or any particular meaningful name, that should be fine. So I will replace that as person age so that we can use that value in our if statement. If you see here what I did, basically I copied the if statements from the logic for conditional statements, and then I have kept it inside the for loop. Okay, so input is not hard coded as we did before. In logic.java we have hard coded the value to 19, or we need to keep on changing it to really verify the condition. So here I'm trying to take the loop as an advantage and let the loop run for however many times I want to and evaluate the conditions. So since if you run 10 times, it won't even meet any of our conditions, right? 10, it won't get in here. 10 is not greater than 20, and 10 is not greater than 12, 10 is not greater, 10 is less than 20, but it's an AND operator, so both conditions to meet, so it won't fit in here. Only it will get in here because it's 10. So all the time it will print out age unknown, age unknown, age unknown. So let me remove this so that we will have a little clear output. I'll try to run as Java application, but we are using age 10 only as the limit. So now if I want to get into these two statements, what I have to do is I have to go at least up to 20, right? And so that it will print teenager couple of times because it meets the condition of 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 and 19 for a teenager, that 5 times, and then one condition of an adult, which is 20. So let us run and test that. Run as Java application. See, bunch of age unknowns, and person is a teenager. We have it for a couple of times here, and it came back to age unknown. Let us see what's going on. Yes, I see here person age greater than 20 is what our condition is, so it went into unknown. So if I have something like greater than or equal to 20, then this would have resulted in our console. Let me Control S and right click, run as Java application. Now we see person is adult. Because I changed it to greater than or equal to 20, we are looping only till 20, so we got only one adult scenario. Okay, one more time, let us increment this to loop to 25 so that we will get bunch of adult scenarios also. I will reduce the starting point. You can also do that. It not necessarily it should be 0 all the time, so I will increase it probably to 10 so that we will have a bunch of unknowns, teenager and adult scenarios. Control S, right click, run as Java application. So we have a couple of unknowns and teenagers and adults. You get it? Isn't that fun? If you are new, I want you to spend good amount of time in between these two logic development statements, the for loops, the loops, and conditional statements. So look out for an assignment on this. With this, I will end this lesson. You may now move on to the next one. Thank you.